So in today's video, I'm going to walk through the 3 AI systems you need to implement as a core piece of your go-to-market strategy, which I think will rapidly expand your sales. So one of the most common mistakes I see founders and sales leaders make is they overhire for their sales team. There's this assumption in the industry that every sales rep you hire automatically will increase your revenue by X amount, when in reality, what you should be focused on, especially in the world of AI, is to take the existing sales team that you have and make them hyper efficient by building AI systems around them to eliminate all their busy work so they can focus solely on generating more pipeline and then closing and expanding your customers. Now, before we dive in, quick intro to me. My name is Sanjay Ravichandran. I'm the founder of AccuSales. We're an AI engineering firm specifically focused on go-to-market teams. I've been in tech go-to-market for over 8 years now, and my core focus is building AI agents and AI applications to support go-to-market efforts for software companies. So the first AI system I recommend implementing is an inbound AI SDR that qualifies your website visitors and books sales meetings for your sales team. Now, this one's actually very close to my heart because when I started my sales career, I was an inbound SDR, and one of the core parts of my role was to monitor Intercom, which was a chatbot that we were using. And as website people would interact with the chat, figure out like, hey, is this a qualified prospect that I should book with one of the account executives? Or is this someone just looking for free technical help that I can pawn off to one of the support engineers? So the way your AI SDR should work is it should qualify your website visitors if they're net new prospects and book time on your sales team. If they're existing customers and they're running into technical issues, it should route them to your support engineering team. Or if it's a larger customer and they have an account team, it should route them to a CSM if they're having specific questions. This is a great use case for AI. If 1,000 people show up on your website looking for help, it can handle 1,000 of those people in parallel, and it's working 24/7. So the second AI system you need to implement is something that automates company research, lead enrichment, and does first draft messaging for all those leads. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the Outbound factory that I built. There's a better video that kind of goes a little bit more in depth on the code, but this was some of the most mind-numbing work that I had to do as a sales rep, which every quarter I would get 80 new prospect accounts that I would have to target. And in reality, like in the world of AI, like companies are moving so fast, they're changing their strategy so quickly that research became stale in like a matter of weeks. So AI is really great at aggregating a ton of information and making this super easy for your sales reps to just focus on executing and trying to generate pipeline versus spending a ton of time in Excel and PR articles to form an opinion. So this Outbound factory, how it works is a sales rep will give a list of companies in a CSV format. This company researcher agent goes out and does a research on these companies, drafts a hypothesis on why they could be an ideal customer for us. We tier the accounts, and then there's a people finder agent that goes and actually finds the right buyers within the companies and then enriches their contact information. And then there is an email writer and a LinkedIn writer agent that writes first draft messaging. And then there's a quality reviewing agent to make sure that this is on brand and we're not just spamming a bunch of people with messaging. The goal here is that every Monday morning, a sales rep comes in and they have a list of 10 companies with maybe 5 to 7 people within those companies and an email and a LinkedIn message they can send. So they can just focus on doing like last mile QA on the messages, make sure the people are good, and then they can focus strictly on executing so they can continue to generate more pipeline for the business. So the third AI system I'd recommend implementing is AI voice agents to help your reps role play cold calls as well as sales meetings. This will drastically improve how quickly a sales rep will get ramped at your company, but also if you are changing your pitch or changing your messaging or trying new campaigns, it'll allow your sales team to quickly onboard new messaging or new pitches using an AI agent to be able to practice in a very safe environment. Sales is a very interesting profession in my mind because whenever you fail in sales, you always fail in front of people. So if you bomb a cold call, you're usually mumbling through your words in front of a stranger. If you bomb a sales meeting, you're usually bombing in front of a customer or an executive. So in that way, you can really practice those sales meetings in a vacuum in using AI so that your sales reps are ready to go when they're in front of a customer. Now, if you're looking into voice agents for role-playing cold calls or sales meetings, I would recommend if you're trying to buy it off the shelf, look at Rhythm AI. I'm not sponsored by them, but this is a great tool that I've been using to practice my cold calls and to practice for meetings. I usually do this right before I start like a cold call session where I will kind of practice the pitch on a couple example cold calls so that first person that picks up the phone is not the first time I ever say the pitch of that day. So I recommend checking out Rhythm AI. And then if you do want to build it yourself, Google has some of the best audio models that I've worked with. They really capture the pace of a conversation. So it keeps it very interactive, and I don't know, from a rep's perspective, it keeps it very lively and almost seems very natural when they hear it, because a lot of audio models don't get the pace of a human conversation. And I think Google did a really good job. So if you do want to build this from scratch, I recommend checking out the Google audio model. If you want to buy it off the shelf, I think Rhythm is a great starting point. There's other players in the space, but I really like Rhythm AI. Now alone, each one of these AI systems is extremely powerful, but if you implement all three of them, I think you'll be able to take your sales to the next level by making your sales reps way more efficient at generating pipeline and closing new business. If you aren't sure where to start, I'm going to leave a link in the description below to my agent repo, where you can actually download the claude.md file for my Outbound factory and feed that file to Claude Code or Codex, and it'll actually implement that Outbound factory specifically for your business. So if you're interested in that, check it out in the description below. All right, guys, that's the video for today. If you found it valuable, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I try to post weekly on how you can use AI to really be a core piece of your go-to-market strategy and improve your sales conversions. So if you like that kind of content, follow me here. If you have any ideas for videos I should make, please put them in the comments below. It'll be super helpful for me. But outside that, I'll see you guys next week in the next video. See y'all.